If you're over 30 years old, maintaining and building your muscle mass is not just all about looking good. It is essential for staying strong, maintaining a healthy weight, and aging well. In fact, we lose 3 to 8% of our muscle mass per decade after the age of 30. And this rate of decline is even higher after the age of 60. In this video, I'm sharing 5 simple body weight strength training exercises that you can do practically anywhere. Let's work to protect your muscle mass, build strength, and feel amazing. As always, before starting an exercise program or nutrition changes, please make sure you check with your healthcare provider first. First, in this video, I'm going to explain and guide you through how to do these 5 exercises with proper form and technique. And then afterwards, I'll explain how to build a circuit with these exercises or set a goal for strength training and additional tips. The first exercise that I have for you are lunges. If you don't feel comfortable doing them standing without support, you can always use a wall for support or guidance if you feel unstable. So for lunges, what you want to do is start with your feet about hip width apart. You're going to take a step forward with the left leg. And for these, I do recommend to have a good base. You want your feet a decent distance apart. If you stand with your left foot right in front of that right foot, you're going to be very tippy. So make sure you have a gap between your feet so that way you have a stable base. And then when you do your lunge, your hands can be wherever they're comfortable. I personally like putting my hands on my hips at my sides. So for the lunge, what you're going to do is while you inhale, think about that back leg, your right knee sinking to the floor. So inhaling, you're going to drop that knee down to the ground. Don't have to touch it. You don't want your left knee going over your toes. So you're not pushing forward. This is a mistake that I see a lot of people doing in their lunges. You are just sinking down. So bending that right back knee, lowering to the ground, pressing through your left thigh and your left butt is what's working. So again, inhaling, sinking to the ground, exhaling, pressing back up. And then of course we want to do the same on the other side. So you're going to step forward with your right foot, get some distance between your legs, and then you're just lowering this left knee to the ground. So again, just straight down, letting that hover, exhaling up, inhaling down, pressing with my right thigh and glute up. Again, it's very important to not have your knee go over your toe. You want to make sure that the foot that's forward, your heel is always on the floor or the mat. You do not want that front heel to lift up. That is incorrect, improper form. So make sure that that front foot is planted firmly on the ground. That's okay if you can't go that far. Make sure your form comes first to get that proper exercise and progress your exercise later as you feel comfortable with the movement. Okay, the second exercise I have for you is going to be an upper body core exercise. These are going to be wall push-ups. Of course, push-ups can be done on the ground, but those are a lot more difficult. Most people can't do those properly with good form. So I recommend starting with a wall. So what you want to do is put your hands about chest width apart, and you want to stand at about an incline to that wall. If you lower yourself down more, it's going to be harder. So I recommend starting kind of like right on that wall, nearly upright, at a little bit of an incline to the wall. You want your hands about kind of where your chest level is though. So if you walk out further, you're gonna have to lower your hands down. So if I start up here, and I'm gonna inhale myself to the wall, exhaling, pressing away from that wall. So inhaling down, exhale back up. And again, if that's too easy, then you can go further down, inhaling, exhaling back up. And remember, when you do push-ups, make sure that core stays nice and tight. You're engaging all of this as well, working your chest and your back muscles, triceps when you're doing your push-ups. The third exercise that I have are just body weight squats. These are amazing, such a great exercise. I of course have a separate video all about squats, proper squat form, how to progress that squat, and additional tips that I'll put a link to that video right here. But just a little brief summary on squats. So to do a squat, what you want to do is you want to start with your feet at least hip width apart. And then what you do in that squat is you're going to start by pressing those hips backwards, kind of like you're sitting down into a chair, onto a toilet. Slowly inhaling on your way down. And then if you feel unsteady, you can kind of stick your hands out to help guide you. You want to lower it until your thighs are parallel to the ground if you can. Again, if you can't, that's okay. You can progress down that far. So you slowly inhale on the way down. Your spine stays neutral. You don't want to bend at that waist, but you want to keep your upper body nice and straight and up as you lower down. And then exhale on the way up. Again, you inhale on the way down. Exhale on the way up. I think another big mistake that I see in squats is people tend to bend first with their knees. So the squat will look like this. No, so you want the movement to come from your hips. So remember, hips back first, and then your knees bend. That's where the movement is, and then come back up. So again, check out the video. There's way more tips on that squat and proper squat form and common mistakes that I see, but that's at least a start to proper squats. The last two exercises that I have for you are going to be on the floor, actually. The second to last exercise is a plank. I know a lot of people know about a plank, but I think that these are quite difficult to do, and a lot of people don't have the proper form and technique, so I'd rather have you modify it first and then work up to doing a full plank. And a lot of people don't know this modification, so let me teach it to you. So what you want to do is you want to come down your hands. Your hands are about shoulder width apart. So you want your hands right underneath your shoulders, right? So you're in a line there. And then you're going to come down on your knees, but I want you to bring your knees back. So I don't want your knees to be right under your hips because you're going to get that plank, right? If I'm here, my abs aren't really engaged. So you're going to walk those knees back. I like to crisscross my ankles. And then again, kind of walk those knees back until you feel that engagement in your abs. So I'm squeezing here, holding that core tight. So this is an amazing modification for a plank. I can feel it. My arms are shaking. Oh, I'm kind of out of breath filming the strength exercises. You can see how effective of a workout this is. When we hold exercises though, it's important to breathe. So when you hold your plank, our next exercise, make sure you're breathing. You don't want to hold your breath. The body's natural tendency is to hold your breath through these. Make sure you breathe. So to come out of it, just walk those knees back up. Again, you can work up to doing that full plank. Obviously, the plank is up on all fours, right? You're on your toes, you're on your hands or your elbows, and your body is in that straight position. You don't want those hips to sink in. So remember to keep that core tight, that core engaged throughout your plank. I, of course, have a separate video on core, one of my favorite exercises and tips and recommendations if you are struggling to figure out how to engage your abs and core. So I'll put that link right here. My fifth and final exercise for strength training are glute bridges. So for this one, you want to lay on your back and your feet are going to be about hip width apart, and then your arms can just be at your sides. So your feet hip width apart, and then you're going to exhale, pushing those hips up to the ceiling. So I'm squeezing my glutes, keeping that core tight, and engaging my posterior core muscles, remembering to breathe. Sometimes people like to do like reps. You can lower it down, exhale up, hold for a moment, inhale down, exhale up. I personally just like to hold them, but you can do what works for you. So with the glute bridge, it's just important to have like that firm foundation under you, and you don't want your heels like too close. Obviously, you want your ankle and knee to be pretty much in line. You don't want your feet way back here, or that's not going to work. Or if your feet are way out here, it just feels weird. So you kind of want those knees and ankles in that straight line. So those are the 5 simple, very effective body weight strength training exercises. When you strength train, it is important to remember delayed onset muscle soreness, meaning that it might not feel like you did much at the time, but allow your body about 24 to 48 hours to notice that effect of that exercise, meaning that it might take a day or two for your muscles to become sore. That's why it's important to start small and gradually progress your exercise over time. It is important to just assess where your body's at and what you're capable of. Maybe you start with 5 reps of each exercise, or holding the ones that are held for like 15 seconds each, see how that goes, and then kind of gradually progress and build on to that. Ideally, I like to perform 8 to 15 reps per exercise, and for the ones that are held, I like to hold those for about 30 to 60 seconds each. If you're able to do that, then you could progress to doing the circuit 2 times through and then maybe 3 times through, if you can easily do all of that and not getting sore, then it might be time to think about adding weight to your strength training routine. It's also important to take at least 1 to 2 days off between strength training sessions. It's important to not do the same muscle group every day, because if you're breaking down that muscle and you're sore, you want to give it a few days to repair, recover, rest before you strength train that same muscle group. So personally for me, I do a few day split. So lately my workout split has been legs on Tuesdays, upper body on Thursdays, a full body strength training on Sundays, and then I have some core, abs kind of sprinkled in throughout the week. But that's what works for me. Definitely it takes some time to figure out what works for you, and kind of, again, I built up to that. I didn't start with that all right away. So good luck with your strength training. Let me know how things go. Please let me know what you're focusing on, working on in the comments. I would love to hear from you. That's going to be all for this video. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you on the next one.